You're joining us at the Hall Bends for the Thundersport GB Championship 2016. We're here at Cadwell Park, formerly nicknamed the Mini Nuremberg-Ring. This is round 4.
Hello and welcome to Cadwell Park for round 4 of the Thundersport GB Championships for 2016. Coming up in this show, we will bring you action from the GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite and the Monex Thundersport GP1. But before then, we have the Avon tyres, Supertwins and Stocktwins down on the grid. Two twins there, Sarah and Kirsty, just wrapped up nice and warm. Bit of a misty start to the day, but we're expecting it to get a bit brighter as the day goes on. Just saw there John Simpson, Northern Irish rider, out there on the number 71 Trickbit Suzuki, and there is your championship leader, Johnny Towers, number 17 on the Team Edge RST Kawasaki 650. Number of other riders to look out for, of course. We have the Stocktwins out there. Aaron Bradley leads the championship in that class. 111 is his number, and Greg Badiro also. Jono Perry, you can just see there on the second row, number 24. He's had a couple of good races so far this year as they steam up towards turn 1. Coppice here at Cadwell, and they all make it round safely, which is always good to see. Into then Charlie's in. Charlie's out now into Park Corner. Out front there is number 69, that's Keelan Irwin on the Scott Motorcycles Aprilia 550. Coming into this round here in Lincolnshire. Keelan Irwin third in the championship behind Dan Taylor, who had a very profitable time out at Snetterton. And there's a change there as they come into the gooseneck. Changes all round as Greg Badiro, number 60, goes underneath Aaron Bradley, and that is for championship position as well. You can just see there, number 222, that is Pete Bardell, who's out there having a play. But it's Johnny Towers that leads this one, number 17, leader of the championship ahead of John Simpson. Number 49 then is Paul McClung on that Kawasaki. Paul's entered a few Thundersport rounds over the last few years and has always been very competitive whenever he's joined us, and he's looking a threat there in third position now. So Keelan Irwin has gone from first down to fourth as they go through Hall Bends into the hairpin, then exiting here. Real troublesome corner it can be at times, and then into Barn. Just got to be careful of the grass on the exit there before then going downhill into Barn and across the start-finish straight. There we go, there, Towers, Simpson, McClung. Then a bit of a gap back to both Keelan Irwin there and 26, Dan Taylor. 43 going across the line is Alex Platt. And there you see 133, Ben Tolliday having a good race there with Gary Rodwell. Uphill left-hander turn 1 here at Cadwell Park. 2 times we'll be visiting Cadwell in the 2016 championship. Here today, of course, as we see there, John Simpson's fallen back to third, McClung up to second, and it will be the season finale as well. Move there from number 3, that was Ryan Redmond. He had gone past 222 Pete Bardell, but Bardell has gone back on him again. Bardell out there on a Suzuki 650, not seen him out on one of those for some time. Of course, a rider that is well up in the championship in the Thundersport 500s. There's a change here though. Good move there from Paul McClung. The door was left slightly open, wasn't it, from Johnny Towers, the championship leader. Will be interesting to see what Johnny Towers does here about Paul McClung, because of course McClung does not feature in his championship. McClung so far, of course, leading this race, but not raced with us in 2016. John Simpson just behind him, however, has, and this is a great move. Simpson up the inside there, down into the hairpin, and you have to be so committed to get that right. So Johnny Towers for now just falls back into third place as they go across the line to tick off another lap. There's Simpson in second, Towers third, Keelan Irwin fourth, then it's Perry, who's now got himself up into fifth place. There he is, number 24, Jonathan Perry on the JPR Kawasaki. But out front, it is Paul McClung that has the advantage from John Simpson. Since he's got past Towers, he's just opened up a couple of bike lengths. And there you see, John O'Perry has now got past Keelan Irwin. Dan Taylor there, number 26. Of course, the double champion of the Stocktwins and Mini Twins, as it was a few years back on the direct commercials Suzuki. So, Paul McClung, since getting out front, he built a little bit of a lead, but Northern Irishman John Simpson now getting on terms with him. Simpson, a big fan of this Cadwell Park layout, of course. After he was with Thundersport for his original stint around 09-10, he moved into the British Championship, and he was a Superstock 600 race winner here at this very circuit. So he comes here certainly knowing where he's going, and he's closing in here on Paul McClung. Johnny Towers looks like he's waved the white flag and going to let those two go. There's Greg Madero, who at the moment leads the Stocktwins. Or what he did, he's not, because Aaron Bradley, the championship leader, is up ahead of him, sorry, number 111. Further back there is Pete Bardell and then Ryan Redmond. Oh, Bardell's gone down into barn. So easy to do, it's an off-camber right-hander. And luckily, he's up and he's okay as the marshals attend to him. But Bardell, unfortunately here, first time for him on TV day in this class, and he's gone out at the top of the hill there. Bardell out of the race then and out of the picture for big points. McClung leads outright here in the Avon Tyre Supertwins ahead of John Simpson, who's keeping him honest. Here's a move though for the Stocktwins further back, and it's between the two championship contenders, and they're not giving an inch here. Greg Madero has the inside line as they're about to make their way into the gooseneck. That will be close. We've got the two battles going on for the two separate classes right in front of us. This between McClung, number 49, and 71 John Simpson as they come up on some traffic already. In the background there, Johnny Towers looks safe for 16 points. And then in the Stocktwins, it's between, looks to be anyway, between both Greg Madero and Aaron Bradley, number 111. Through Hall Bends we go. They've managed to get past one of the back markers here in this first race in Thundersport Elite. Further back there, Rob Pragnell just being lapped by Keelan Irwin. It gets ever so tight through Hall Bends, and a number of riders just trying to make their way through. Onto the start-finish straight we go then. You can see there the pit board on the left of Keelan Irwin. He'll be coming around in a moment, but across the line it's still McClung with disadvantage from John Simpson. There is Keelan Irwin. Then it's Dan Taylor, and in the background you can see that battle continuing between the two Stocktwin riders, Aaron Bradley and Greg Madero. Bradley at the moment has the advantage. Here we are then, still with these guys up through Park Corner and around Chris Curve, then slightly downhill into the gooseneck, and then downhill, good overtaking opportunity this into Mansfield. Tight left-hand first or second gear corner. Oh, McClung well wide on the exit, and very, very lucky there to stay on board the machine. Inevitably losing out on first place, but just lucky to stay in the race. As we see further back there, number 68, Gary Rodwell again. Paul McClung there. My word, you do not want to be doing that. As you can just see, they're getting lots of air over the top of the mountain and now through Hall Bends again. So Simpson has got a chance here to break away out front. Now he's got past. Can he build a gap here in this first race? There'll be 6 races in today's show for you. Around Barn Corner, and now across the line to see the last lap flag. John Simpson it is with the advantage. Paul McClung in his slipstream as they head down the start-finish straight, and now into Coppice Corner, and that was late and brilliantly done there from Paul McClung as he takes the lead. You can scrub off so much speed uphill there into the left-hander at Coppice. Has John Simpson got an answer? Further back, Greg Madero is leading the Stocktwins, and there was no sign across the line of Aaron Bradley, number 111. And so that's quite big for the championship in the HMT Racing Stocktwins as well. But we'll focus for now on who's going to win this race. It's number 49, Paul McClung. This is where he ran wide last time, and he almost did the same thing. There's a bit of traffic coming up here. John Simpson is following. Oh, that was neatly done there by Paul McClung, and John Simpson here will have, I don't think he's going to make it. McClung has really done very well through traffic here as they go up and over the mountain. It would take a big mistake from McClung here to allow John Simpson through. So that brilliant move into turn 1 has probably given McClung the win, although we shouldn't speak too soon at a circuit like Cadwell Park. And again, he nips underneath a bit of traffic into the hairpin, and that will be that. Around Barn Corner, wide on the power downhill, and the checkered flag awaits. Race 1 here in the Avon Tyres Supertwins goes to Paul McClung ahead of John Simpson. Good race that. John Simpson absolutely, well, he looks pretty annoyed with himself, doesn't he, there in second place. Johnny Towers, championship leader, finishes in third place. Jonathan Perry was fourth. Keelan Irwin takes fifth on the Aprilia, and Dan Taylor was in sixth. There's the top three then, McClung, Simpson and Towers.
Fantastic race. I mean, it was so close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mega. To be honest, when he came past me on that second last lap there, I thought he had me, because yesterday I had the pace, so I knew I just had to fight straight back, and we got it in the end, so chuffed to bits.
Oh, well done. Have you got some people to thank? Or?
Mostly just my mum and dad. They fund everything, doing everything for me, so without them it wouldn't be possible. And also Sign Man and everyone that helps me, thanks a lot.
Greg, that was a tough one there with Aaron. I mean, obviously he went down. I think he went down anyway.
Yeah, I think he went down 2 laps towards the end. I kept putting the pressure on him the whole race. I think we pulled away from everyone else. I just kept trying to put the pressure on him. I think the lap before I overtook him, there was a bit of a ding-dong between both of us. And unfortunate for him, he's lost the front end going around the right-hander. So I just took it steady from there. I knew what he'd give me, the championship lead now from that race. So just knew I had to go careful, keep it upright, get the points in the bag. So I'm happy with that.
Absolutely fantastic. Shout to anyone?
Yeah, big thank you to my stepdad Ray. He does all the work on my bike, and he does a brilliant job of it, makes sure it's ready for every race. I couldn't wish for anything better. He's an amazing mechanic. He does everything. I just have to jump on the bike and ride it. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I know that much. So big thank you to my stepdad Ray.
Join us again here at Cadwell Park after the break. We'll be back with the Monex Thundersport GP1. Cadwell Park then, the Monex Europe Thundersport GP1 class coming up. The big boys. And we've had some classic races over the years. A strong field in 2016. Lee Williams here, the championship leader, number 94, last year's Formula 600 champion. Up against, it looks like, this man, Josh Day, for the championship in 2016. There's number 156, Dave Jackson, who's attended quite a few rounds so far this season now. Jonathan Lodge is on the grid as well. He'll be looking to improve on what has been a tough season so far. And away we go from the line. Josh Day in the last round at Stetterton really had things his own way. Lee Williams troubled him at times, but they just couldn't keep up with Josh, and he got himself back into championship contention. We are on board with Lee Williams, who leads the standings overall and has got off to a brilliant start here as we exit Charlie's, and that just gives you a perfect shot there as to the hill and the drop down as they make their way onto the park straight. Again, the undulations there you can see. Downhill, uphill, no real place to rest around this Cadwell Park circuit for this group of very talented riders. In amongst this massive gaggle of around 36, 37 riders, we of course have the Sportsman points to keep an eye on as well. Paul Charman out there on the red number 9 Yamaha R1 is leading that. That was very close downhill into Mansfield. Number 44 there, Stuart Martin, just does enough to get his bike stopped to prevent an accident, but it is out front Lee Williams and Josh Day that have the advantage. From then, Dave Jackson and Jonathan Lodge. Lodge is quite easy to pick out. He's got the black bike with the luminous yellow stickers. Here is Josh Day. Lap times wise, we are expecting to see the old lap record from Sam Hornsey to go. We saw a brilliant race yesterday in GP1. There's Jackson, Lodge, a bit wide there from one or two riders. Number 80, Lee Wilson, just going wide there. Maybe that's allowed 33, Michael Neves, back into the equation at the top of your screen. There he is, Wilson hangs on for now. Neves' bike is bucking and weaving around as they go past the start-finish straight. Number 29, Kingsley Ruddy, has got off to a decent start as well as this huge group of riders go past the start-finish line all the way down through the top 20. You've got riders that have been and featured on the podium here at Thundersport at some point. But Lee Williams here with a fit between his teeth. Got off to a great start and is peeling away now from Josh Day. Dave Jackson still in third, then Lodge, Wilson, Neves, Kingsley Ruddy. Number 92 is then Mark Sykes from Grimsby. It's not too far to travel home later on here from Cadwell Park. Williams it is that has the advantage. So this is good for his championship. Lap times wise, what have we got here for Lee? It is, well, they're very, very close here to the 129s, which would be a lap record. In fact, the lap record's already gone, but we are edging closer towards those 129s, and my, that is really shifting. You have a little comparison with some of the British Championship times, and you will understand how quick these guys are going. Of course, Josh Day in second place from the National Superstock 1000 class, so he knows what sort of pace can probably win races here at Thundersport, but I don't think even he would have expected to see Lee Williams going like this. The Liverpool rider at the moment on the high-tech Kawasaki flying across the line, and that was the fastest lap of the race, and the lap record destroyed. A 129.960 for Lee Williams. That is absolutely incredible. Josh Day just behind him was in the low 1 minute 30s. Nobody else even in the 1 minute 30s at the moment. In third place, Dave Jackson lapping in the 131s, which I have to be honest, there he is, would have been plenty good enough to win him a few races at Thundersport in the past, but the pace is so quick out front, and Lee Williams looking in sensational form. Look at the gap he's opened up out front here over Josh Day. Josh Day really having to work. You had that thought, didn't you, after Snetterton, that if Josh Day maybe finished all the races, maybe Lee would have his hands full. Well, Lee's come back fighting here and has said, no, I'm championship leader for a reason, and you are going to have to work if you want to beat me to it. The GP1 championship, oh dear, well, that's, wow. Well, the sat-nav's obviously packed in, and he's not happy about it. There's a rider there who's clearly got a few issues and is absolutely disgusted. I'm just trying to work out whether or not, was that Kingsley Ruddy who was punching his tank? If it isn't Kingsley, then I apologise, but just through the last sector there, didn't notice Kingsley Ruddy going through on the time screen, so I wonder if that was him. Again, I apologise if it wasn't, because whoever it is very angry. Further back there, Sportsman Championship going on. You just saw Matt Stevenson, currently second overall in this race. Ash Stone and Nick Edgley are up there as well, but none of them able to keep up with Paul Charman, who edges ever closer to the top 5 and 6 overall in Thundersport GP1, which he mentioned last time out was his aim as we went through this 2016 season. Josh Day there in second. He's not giving this up just yet. Further back, Jonathan Lodge there, now just falling into the hands of Lee Wilson. Lee Wilson, of course, multiple Derby Phoenix champion. There is Paul Charman on that brand new R1. He's been going very well on it so far. He's just up ahead there of Curtis Rothwell, who's struggling on that machine. Lee Williams went mighty close to the grass there on the exit of the chicane, and maybe he's just giving Josh Day a little bit of hope. On this lap, Josh Day has definitely pulled him in a bit. He'll need to pull him in at a rate of about half a second a lap here if he wants to really win this race. In third there, wow, look at the air that Dave Jackson gets over the top of the hill as Josh Day now breaks down into the hairpin, and here is Jonathan Lodge and Lee Wilson. Jonathan Lodge would have definitely fancied himself as a championship contender in 2016, and he's gradually getting back to the form we expect to see from him. But he has a mountain to climb if he wants to catch up with these two guys overall on the points. There are still a hell of a lot of points available, of course, in 2016. 75 available per weekend for the GP1 class. And of course, from here we move on to Alton. There's another 5 rounds left in this championship. So there's plenty of races left here for these guys to get back on terms. But the form that Williams and Day are in, it certainly looks like being a 2-horse race at this stage. There is Jonathan Lodge just being passed by Lee Wilson, but the door has been left open, and on the cutback, Lodgy goes back past through Chris Curve, and now they make their way down through into the gooseneck. Meanwhile, Lee Williams just doing enough here to manage that lead. Josh Day will not give up. His glove has just come loose there. The Velcro strap around the glove has come loose. That shouldn't be anything really to worry about, although it's not ideal if he was to come off the bike, of course, but he hasn't really got time to sort that out at the moment. He's trying to focus on reeling in Lee Williams, of course, the tiniest of mistakes from Williams, and it's easy to do around this Cadwell Park circuit, and Josh Day would be on terms with him. Dave Jackson looks comfortable there in 3rd place. Jonathan Lodge still in 4th, holding off number 80 Lee Wilson. Further back is Neves, saw him earlier in the race. Bit of pointing to the head from the Lee Williams camp there as we come on to the final lap. He's just got to sort of cruise round, which is easier said than done. Dave Jackson here in 3rd place. I mentioned, yeah, Michael Neves is still in the top 6 as Lodge and Wilson go across the line. Mark Sykes as Stuart Martin and Jody Lee's up inside the top 10. And then it's Paul Charman who leads in the Sportsman category, and at the moment doesn't look like he's going to be threatened for the top step in that class. But what a ride this has been from Lee Williams. Jonathan Lodge just about holding on to 4th spot here ahead of Lee Wilson. This will be interesting coming into this afternoon's 2nd race. We're expecting warmer conditions. Will Josh Day be able to answer back? Because this has been a brilliant ride from Lee Williams, perhaps the ride of his career so far. He won the Formula 600 Championship with ease last year. He had his work cut out in the Sportsman Elite overall because, of course, he was against some good competitors in Matt Truelove and Davey Todd, but there really wasn't anything to split the 3 of them. And he has taken to this 1000cc motorcycle like a duck to water, around Barn Corner, down the hill, and Lee Williams is going to take 25 precious points here, and he should get a round of applause from pit wall. What a race win that was from the Liverpool man. Josh Day finishes in 2nd place. This time around, he didn't have enough for Williams. Dave Jackson 3rd, Lodge finishes in 4th place, Lee Wilson 5th, and Michael Neves on the BMW there in 6th place. Big smile on the top step there for Williams, race winner ahead of Josh Day and Dave Jackson. And in the Sportsman, it's Charman, Stevenson and Ash Stone.
Lee Williams, woo! You are on fire.
Yeah, I had to pull something out of the bag after yesterday's mistake. I made it hard work for myself yesterday with the chain coming off on lap 3 when I was behind Josh, and I had to do something special today, and to get a good start and get my head down and go. That was the aim of the game, and you know the game ended well. So yeah, words can't describe how happy I am at the minute.
Well, you stepped it up 10 levels, not 1. And who do you want to thank?
A massive thanks to Phil from High Tech Coatings. You know, without Phil this year and last year wouldn't have been possible. My dad, all his effort he's put in, my sister, girlfriend, Michelin, can't thank Michelin enough. You know, the amount of work and effort they've put in. Bertrand, Tim, Gareth from Reactive Suspension. You know, we've been working really hard on getting this bike handling, and you know it's paying off. And everyone else, you know, Aintree Motorcycle Training, High Five for the supplements, AK Photography, Rock Oil, CD Showy, you know, everyone is just a big help. Thanks very much.
Paul, I'm spending more time talking to you than I am my wife. I mean, what a great weekend.
Yeah, I know, people are going to start talking about us really, aren't they? Yeah, another great weekend. Another little change, just gearing change this weekend. It's made a big difference again, and we're chipping away again. We're getting close to the elite boys, like I said last time, that is the aim, so I'm getting happier and happier and happier, so let's see what we can do in race 2.
That is absolutely brilliant. Have you got some people to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Accrington Auto Bodies, Dunsop Trout Farm, Jason at JT Motorcycles, Phil Seaton at Seaton Tuning, Chris Moore, obviously mum and dad, and my wife Kayla.
We'll be back after the break with the GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite. It's round 4 of the Thundersport GB Championships from Cadwell Park. The GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite up on circuit, and the sun has started to appear, so we should be in for a brilliant day. Jordan Rushby leads the championship overall in this class. He'll be sporting the number 2, but he has a few riders to deal with here in this race. Aaron Clifford on the Kawasaki number 19 and Joey Thompson number 74. Both, of course, have come through the Aprilia Challenge and have tried their luck out in various forms of 600 racing now, and they're coming along nicely. Joe Thompson it is with the best start though as they go across the line and into turn one. We're on board with the championship leader now, and he gets his nose just chopped off there into Coppice as they now make their way around Charlie's. It's just about trying to find a decent gap and settling yourself into this race, but Jordan Rushby's at the sharp end, that's for sure, as they make their way down the back straight, downhill and then uphill. On the left there is Charlie Morris. Charlie Morris is nearest championship contender, number 157, as they break into Park Corner. Good on-board shots there then of Jordan Rushby, and it just goes to show you how much work you have to do on a motorcycle when racing around here at Cadwell. Further back there, we just saw Grant McIntosh from Wakefield, but Joe Thompson it is that leads from Aaron Clifford, Morris, and then Rushby. That looks like William White has got himself up into 5th place on the yellow and white Triumph, on the Get Low Racing Triumph. You have to get low when you're tipping into Mansfield, but here is Thompson then. Number 74, the rider from Selby on the Bidvest Kawasaki. Now then on board with Jordan Rushby. See a few scuffs and scrapes there on his levers as he gets the front end loose over the mountain. Brilliant onboard shots here. Look at all the work you have to do through Hall Bend. It's a miracle, you know, that bike is even out there in this race as he fights with his championship rival. A big crash for Jordan Rushby in their single race yesterday, and well, the team and Jordan's dad up till 2:30 a.m. travelling all corners of the country trying to get parts to put the bike back together just so that he could get out here today. So good effort there from Jordan's family and team. He, of course, came out completely unscathed, which is the most important thing, and he is here racing now to try and get some precious championship points. At the front of this race, though, Joe Thompson's lead has been cut. Aaron Clifford just closing up further behind. There is Will White, 77. Stuart Haslam, and I can confirm he is a member of the Haslam family, and so I believe Stuart is cousin with Leon and has attended many a Cadwell Park round here with Thundersport GB. On board with Jordan Rushby again here then. He will have eyes only for Charlie Morris here in this first race. It matters not what happens between the two guys out front because they're not featuring in his championship challenge. Here is Thompson and Clifford. At the moment, Jordan Rushby there in 3rd is ahead of his championship rival, number 157, Charlie Morris. A good crowd there at the grandstand at the mountain. Further back is Nick Edgley, and 171, that is Ryan Varley. Mentioning the crowd, I understand that the approximate attendance figures over the 2 days here at Cadwell is up to 8,000, which is pretty good, it has to be said. So lots of people, well, they certainly get value for money when you consider the amount of races at Thundersport and the quality of those races that you're watching here. We just saw 83 there a moment ago. There he is going past just behind fellow Triumph rider William White. That is Jack Drury. But out front, it is still Joe Thompson and Aaron Clifford. Brendan Mallender going across the line there. Number 99, Stephen Kaplan. Number 38 is Stephen Proctor. He heads uphill in towards Coppice Corner. Joe Thompson still leads from Aaron Clifford. Should send an apology to the Clifford family. Apparently I mentioned that he was from Northern Ireland in the last round, and he's not. He's of course from the south. What a mistake to make it. Apologies to you all, but Aaron Clifford, the Irishman, closing down at the moment on Joe Thompson. Joe's had some good results with Thundersport GB over the years here at Cadwell Park. He was here on his Moto3 bike last year and had a good outing. Before that, of course, a Aprilia Super Teen rider, and he got his best results certainly here at Cadwell and many other rounds as well. He seems to, like so many, have made the jump onto the 600 look pretty easy. And likewise for Aaron Clifford here, of course. Aaron spent a good couple of years in the Aprilia 450 class. There you see number 67, that is George Pycroft, up ahead of Nick Edgley and Ryan Varley. Those guys at the moment are just inside the top 10. There is a Sportsman class, much like GP1, Sportsman class within this. Charlie Morris, there he is across the line, leads that as he goes across the line ahead of Stuart Haslam and William White. But Nick Edgley and George Pycroft that we saw a moment ago, 62 and 67 are also part of that Sportsman Championship, so they'll be battling it out for the remaining podium places in that. Here they are, in fact, and you can see a change as Pycroft just drops a place to Edgley. Still Joe Thompson that leads from Aaron Clifford, not much between them. There's Kaplan and Proctor. Running around Chris Curve here at Cadwell Park. There we are at the front. Still same sort of lead. It's about a couple of tenths that. Lap times at the moment, they're into the low 133s. Bearing in mind both of these riders, well, Aaron Clifford there is definitely on a stock bike. With the colours on the board there of Joe Thompson's, I'm not entirely sure whether that's a Tune 600 or not. Either way, they're just a little way off the lap record that was obviously set a couple of years ago by Dean Hipwell, 31.1 on a 600. That is flying. As we see here, Stuart Haslam attacking Charlie Morris. Across the line we go then. Still nothing really to choose between Joe Thompson and Aaron Clifford. Aaron Clifford just not quite able to get close enough to make a move at the moment. This is Charlie Morris and Stuart Haslam. If you're wondering where Jordan Rushby is, he's just managed to break away ahead of Charlie Morris there. So he's behind these guys. He's in third place, which is good for his championship, especially after the day he had yesterday, not picking up any points. The gap looks like it might just be closing a little at the front. Here's Stuart Haslam, number 77. Rider from Langley Mill, trying to now close up on Charlie Morris, and Aaron Clifford is getting closer, and as they break down into Mansfield, oh, he thought about the move then into Mansfield, but Joe Thompson I don't think knew he was there, and he would have had to have been a lot closer. They could have easily wiped the pair of them out there into Mansfield. It's one of those corners where you have to be committed, but Clifford here is getting himself warmed up for a move. He's been following Joe Thompson for a while. He'll know perhaps where the key areas are on this circuit where he might just have a little more pace. Not going to happen down into their hairpin by the looks of things. Will it be turn one? Will it be at the end of the park straight? Or could he do the same into Mansfield again? Looks like there could be a move being lined up here as well. There is. Oh, again. It's just, that's the thing with Cadwell Park. Such a tight and twisty circuit. You have to get it absolutely spot on. I have to say, the back end of that last lap there, Joe Thompson managed just to stretch out about another tenth over Aaron Clifford, so he knows that he's got company, that's for sure. Here we go then. This is the area of the circuit where Aaron Clifford seems to close up on Joe Thompson. He's quick into Park Corner, now around Chris Curve. He's got the corner speed through the gooseneck. Will he have another nibble down into Mansfield? Because he seems to have the pace around that section. Here we go then, out of the gooseneck, not close enough this time. Joe Thompson getting the bike a bit out of shape. He certainly knows that he has company. And here comes Aaron Clifford closing up now through the chicane. Clifford has got to try and get his lines absolutely spot on, as we see further back there William White currently in the top six. There's Nick Edgley and George Pycroft, all of them on Triumphs. They are at the moment in line for second and third in the Sportsman category, and they are 7th and 8th on circuit overall. This is the battle for the race win though in the GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite. Jordan Rushby in third, 16 championship points will come in very nicely, but who will get the 25 points and the winner's trophy here? Beautiful day it's turning out to be here, as Jordan Rushby has a good look over his shoulder just to see what he's got to play with as they go across the line. The sun is out. You can see there Ken, Aaron's dad, just giving him the pit signals. That will probably be just saying that, look, you're all on your own. There's nothing to worry about behind you. It's just a matter of trying to pick your move. He's thought about a move in a few places, and here again he's closing up around Park Corner. Aaron Clifford definitely has a speed advantage around this section of the circuit, but Thompson has the upper hand elsewhere, and so he's going to have to try and force some sort of a block pass move, is Aaron Clifford, unless of course he can invent something rather drastic. A defensive line there from Aaron Clifford. Oh, and Aaron Clifford goes through. Sorry, Joe Thompson with a defensive line. Clifford ran the outside, and that was brilliantly worked out there. Thompson probably knew, in all honesty, that Aaron Clifford was weighing up a move there. Took the defensive line, but was just too slow into it. Aaron Clifford, I tell you what, that takes up quite a bit of bravery to go around the outside at Mansfield. That was brilliantly done from the Irishman. They've got a bit of traffic coming up here, and this isn't over just yet. Bit of traffic, oh, excellently dealt with there by Aaron Clifford, and they barge their way through on number 27. That's Fuge the Luge. Around Barn Corner and onto the start-finish straight. Joe Thompson gets into the slipstream. They pull out and it is the checkered flag. What a brilliant last lap that was from Aaron Clifford. And he mugs Joey Thompson around the outside into Mansfield and takes 25 points. Not much in between those, you can see. Jordan Rushby, championship leader, third. Charlie Morris, fourth. And then it was Stuart Haslam. Clifford looks very happy with that on the top step alongside Joe Thompson and Jordan Rushby. And in the Sportsman, it's Morris, Edgley and Pycroft.
Aaron, what a fantastic race. I mean, you really pulled it off.
Yeah, it was an absolutely amazing race. I just stalked it until the last minute, and I just seen the opportunity when he was defending and just went for it. It was a bit of a dodgy move, but it ended up working, so I'm really happy with that.
You always travel such a way from, Southern Ireland with the ferry and everything else, so all the whole team, Dad, everyone must be made up.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Coming over here the whole time, we're just looking for good results, and if we're getting them, we go home happy.
Excellent. And other sponsors?
I'd like to thank all of my sponsors and Steve Harnett from NDM, who is over here with us. He gave me an amazing setup for the race, and if anyone in the paddock wants him, he's always around with us.
Excellent. Top race. Well done.
Thanks.
Charlie, well, as to be said, I mean, although you're the winner of the Sportsman race, which is absolutely fantastic, you're so close to the front of the elite race as well, aren't you?
Yeah, it's all right. I had a few moments, so broke back a little bit, but game on for race 2, see if we can get a podium.
Well, I saw you come over the mountain once or twice, which was pretty horrific to look at. Have you got some sponsors to thank?
Just MSG Racing, Dan, Gavin and Lisa for the bike they put together, and everyone who supports me.
Oh, cheer up, Charlie. You've got another race to come later on. We'll be back after the break with the Supertwins and Stocktwins. Welcome back to Cadwell, GP2, Supertwins, the Avon tyres back. Supertwins and Stocktwins are ready for race 2. And, well, the sun came out, so we've got a dry race again. This man won earlier, Paul McClung, number 49, just up ahead of John Simpson. There he is on the Trick Bits Suzuki. Johnny Towers it is that leads the championship, though. He won't mind too much what's happened in race 1. He's picking up some solid points here in the background. You just saw there, Keelan Irwin on the Scott Motorcycles. Aprilia there was Dan Taylor, last year's Stocktwins champion. Jonathan Perry in the top 5 earlier as well, number 24. So the main men are all there. In the background there, I noticed Peter Bardell is out, but he's out on his old Thundersport 500 there. So he's obviously bashed about that Suzuki 650, and he's got to do a bit of work there, hasn't he, on his 500 as they steam up towards Coppice Corner for the first time. Race 2 of 2 for these guys. Let's see who gets the advantage as they come into Park Corner. It will be, again, a really good start from Keelan Irwin, but he's just been overtaken into Park Corner by the race 1 winner from earlier on, Paul McClung, number 49, out there on that Kawasaki. Paul from Haddington. Down the back there, Rob Pragnell, number 98, regular is Rob from Portsmouth on the Willow Construction machine. Number 133 is Ben Tolliday from Scarborough. They go around Mansfield Corner then and up towards the new chicane. Paul McClung it is with the advantage ahead of Keelan Irwin and John Thompson. Johnny Towers, the championship leader, number 17 is 4th. Then it's Perry and Taylor. Bit of a gap back then to Greg Madero. Madero, who took advantage of Aaron Bradley falling out of race 1. He leads the Stocktwins at the moment on circuit. This is the battle for the lead. John Simpson there in 3rd place, desperate to try and find a way past Keelan Irwin. He runs wide on the exit of the hairpin. There is Greg Madero up ahead of Ryan Redmond, and another rider going wide on the exit there was that was number 43, Alex Platt. There's Perry, there's Simpson. Perry just up ahead of Dan Taylor, last year's Stocktwins champion, trying to get himself involved with those front guys. 34 Further back is Ian McGann, 78, just going the long way round. Adam Goodyear on Matt Hanton into turn 1 at Coppice Corner. Oh dear, we've got a blowout here. A rider is out of the race, and that, with the pink wheels, is the championship leader from the Stocktwins, Aaron Bradley. And so having gone out of race 1, he's now out of race 2 as well, and that could be costly for the championship, as we saw a bit of jostling for position at the front there. Keelan Irwin trying everything just to hang on to his position. There is Kevin Pearce from Worthing. He's a rookie, you can see there from the orange best. This is quite close at the front. Paul McClung leads from Keelan Irwin. Then John Simpson with Johnny Towers in hot pursuit, and Jonathan Perry as well. The 5 riders very close together here as they exit the new chicane up towards the mountain. Paul McClung, well, he'll be glad he hasn't got rear view mirrors at the moment. They are all closing in, and in to join the party, if this lot could just beat themselves up a bit, is Dan Taylor. McClung leads, and there's a good bit of drive there from Simpson, who's now up into second place. The Northern Irishman there on the Trick Bit Suzuki. He's got past the Scott Motorcycles Irishman, Keelan Irwin. Then it's Towers, Perry and Dan Taylor, who through Hall Bends does look as though he's closed in. There is Pete Bardell, who's having to do a lot of work out there on his Thundersport 500 at the moment. Across the start-finish line we go. John Simpson getting into the slipstream there of Paul McClung. Earlier on, of course, McClung won this race on the last lap by going up the inside into turn 1. Will John Simpson be able to return the favour? Number 68, Gary Rodwell, currently just in 10th place. McClung it is that still leads from Simpson and Towers. Keelan Irwin has just fallen away here. Where has Keelan Irwin just disappeared to? So the Irishman gone. It's 5 riders down to 4 now, so the Aprilia rider has gone completely missing there, unfortunately. Further back, 79, is Lee Sylvan from Bury St Edmunds on the That'll Do racing machine. That sounds more like a racehorse than a motorcycle. But here we go through the new chicane. It is Paul McClung that still has this advantage, but he has company. John Simpson in second, has a quick cheeky look over his shoulder to see how close Johnny Towers is in third. Then Jonathan Perry over the mountain there. John Simpson definitely gets a lot more drive than Paul McClung, and it is working out for him. So Simpson on the attack mode. Simpson quick through Hall Bends and into the hairpin, but decides just to stay and follow the lines of the race leader. Further back there, Ryan Redmond, number 3, Alex Platt, and then just at the back of that group, number 195, Robert Cadiz. Be a nice part of the world to go to at the moment, wouldn't it? Across the line we go and into turn 1. Paul McClung still has the advantage from Simpson, and then in third, Towers. There's Greg Madero up ahead of Ryan Redmond, number 3. That's the battle for the Stocktwins. Alex Platt challenging Ryan Redmond up into Coppice Corner, but not working out. Madero here, another 25 points. He could end this weekend as the new championship leader in the Stocktwins. At the front of this one, realistically speaking, it looks as though Johnny Towers will leave with the championship lead come what may, but John Simpson could definitely eat into that and get himself back in business. Rob Bragnell there about to be lapped and was completely unaware there of Paul McClung coming underneath him, John Simpson going around the outside of him, and through the chicane we go once more. Now earlier on, Paul McClung made light work of the back markers, and it really did cost John Simpson, so Simpson's going to have to get some new tactics here for the end of this race. He got picked off into turn 1, and you wouldn't imagine he'd allow that to happen again. At the moment, of course, he's the man in second this time round, so it's up to him. Where is he quicker than McClung? He certainly looks quicker through Hall Bends and into the hairpin, but really tough to get past through there. As we see Robert Cadiz now, who's up into second place in the Stocktwins. He's got past Ryan Redmond. And there's a yellow flag, and that's Dan Taylor. Dan Taylor, it's rare to see him on the deck, unfortunately. He's gone out of the race. He was second overall in the Avon Tyre Super Twin points coming into this weekend. And what's happening there? Greg Madero has overtaken on a yellow flag. He's then allowed him back past, and then is going back past him again. So clever thinking that from Madero to save himself a penalty, although Robert Cadiz has ultimately closed up on that gap as well. Back to the front It is between these two. Johnny Towers not able to hold on to the pace here at the front. Lap records coming into this weekend of 35.4. They are on the money here. They're not too far away. John Simpson just a few tenths away from that lap record. But can he get the race win? Down into Mansfield we go. McClung still has it from John Simpson. Up in towards the new chicane. Simpson thought he was going to have a bite at him then. So many corners here that open up and give you opportunities to overtake, but unless you can get them done early on into the corner, you can get yourself in some real trouble here with riders closing the door on your nose. Out of the mountain we go again, and look how much speed John Simpson is carrying here. Got more traffic up ahead as they go into the hairpin. They'll exit here, they'll then make their way through into Barn Corner, and McClung again doing well, both of them through on number 77, Robert Kirk. And here we go then, on to the start finish straight, and they will start the last lap of the race. Can John Simpson find anything? Wow, McClung really did benefit there on the final few corners going past that tail ender. There's the battle for the Stocktwins. Greg Badero still has it from Cadiz. Then it's Redman and Platt who will fight it out for the remaining Stocktwins points. But it's between these two for the outright victory. There's one opportunity gone into Park Corner. Around Chris Curve, you won't get it done there unless you're absolutely crazy. Through the gooseneck maybe, or will it be into Mansfield Corner? He's close enough and he's got lots of drive here, John Simpson. And that's a good block pass. So he's got the advantage, and this will be difficult now for McClung to find a way back past him. He's going to try and get the good drive through the chicane. Will he have a look into the bottom of the mountain? And he almost runs out of room there. Paul McClung, they've got even more traffic up ahead as well. Will that cost John Simpson? He was so disappointed, wasn't he, not to take the win earlier on. But it seems like he's bounced back. Through Hall Bends we go. Will this traffic fall at the right time for the Northern Irishman? This is it. A couple of corners left, just one more. Into Barn Corner. They'll be right on top of these back markers as they exit here. The checker flag is waiting. Johnny Towers there in third, just ahead of Jonathan Perry. Good race that from Perry, but the checker flag goes out. Across the line we go, and it is John Simpson who this time comes out victorious and picks up 25 points for his championship. Paul McClung, the solid second. Johnny Towers, the series leader, finishes third. Jonathan Perry in a really good fourth. Greg Badero fifth and wins the Stocktwins, and sixth for Robert Cadiz. Third for Johnny Towers then, second for Paul McClung. Your race winner is John Simpson. We'll get a word with him in just a moment. Towers leads the championship still, heading into the next round at Alton Park, but John Simpson has climbed up to second overall. Good work from the Northern Irishman. Dan Taylor's third, Keelan Irwin in fourth. In the Stocktwins, Greg Badero has taken control of the championship ahead of Aaron Bradley, who's had a bad day here at Cadwell Park.
John, great win, but tough.
Yeah, I had to work hard for it. I really didn't think it was going to get him, and on the last lap, he made a bit of a job for himself, round the gooseneck, and I got to drive down on him down the hill and managed to outbrake him. So, hard work, but it all paid off in the end.
Excellent job. And anybody to shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Paul Jenks from Trick Bits, Brian Node from Horton Car Care, Paul from Race Lab, and of course my dad McGran, A1 Electrics in Ballymena as well. That's about all I can think of for now, but hopefully we'll be back in the top step soon.
Greg Badero's rushing back, ready for the next race, the Monex Thundersport GP1, after the break. Round 4 of the championship. Here we are at Cadwell Park for race 2, the Monex Europe Thundersport GP1. A brilliant effort earlier on from the championship leader, Lee Williams here, number 94, as he broke the lap record, went into the 129s and beat Josh Day. You just see there Dave on start line, just informing Lee Williams that track temperature is all good ahead of this race. It should be a humdinger. There is Josh Day then, who picked up 25 points yesterday. Lee Williams, who obviously enters this round as the championship leader, his chain came off in that race yesterday. It looked like costing him, but he put it back on again and managed to finish the race in 12th, picking up 4 points. So overall so far, coming into this final race, Josh Day has taken an advantage. So Lee Williams needed that win earlier, on board of them here, looking back towards Lee Wilson. This gives you a good idea as to the uphill climb around Charlie's, then it will dip downhill here on Charlie's exit onto the park straight. Lee Williams at the moment not where he wants to be in terms of where Josh Day is. Of course, Josh Day slightly up ahead of him. Uphill, then it will go down again, up the inside of Jonathan Lodge there. Brilliant on board there with Lee Williams, and Lee's currently in third place behind Dave Jackson. It is Josh Day that leads overall. So this time around, Lee Williams, if he's going to win it, he's going to have to come from third place. Further back there, we just saw 105, James Vevers from Workington, down into Mansfield. There's Paul Charman, winner of the Sportsman race from earlier on. Ash Stone from Matlock, he was on the podium earlier on in the Sportsman race. He finished just behind Matt Stevenson, 164. Josh Day leads, number 2. The Crank Racing Kawasaki rider up ahead of number 156, Dave Jackson on his BMW, and then it is 94 Williams. Following him, Jonathan Lodge, number 126 on the jlgraphics.co.uk Kawasaki. That is, of course, his own company. He does a lot of graphics for leathers and motorcycles. And it's Lee Wilson, and then number 92, Mark Sykes in these opening stages. 44 is Stuart Martin from Nettleton. Nice to see Stuart back out on a motorcycle here at Thundersport GB into turn 1. Lee Williams thought about a move on Dave Jackson. He can see that Josh Day is getting away. And, well, they're already on business. They're down into the low 130s. On board again here with Lee Williams on the park straight. Looking back there at Jonathan Lodge. That was pretty easily done, wasn't it, by Lee Williams as he moves up into second place. And now he has eyes only for Josh Day. Further back there is Kingsley Ruddy, who was, we can confirm, the man punching the living hell out of his tank earlier on in race 1, ahead of Michael Neves. Here is the race leader. Look at that. Lee Williams is on a mission again. He's closed that gap down. Josh Day on the Crank Racing Kawasaki has got company, and it is his title rival. This looks like being pretty tasty all the way to the end of the 2016 season. We could have a race on here. They head over the top of the mountain and through Hall Bends again. Dave Jackson there getting some air, former Supermoto rider. Got plenty of style as Dave. Josh Day it is that leads. Lee Williams so full of confidence at the moment. There we just saw going through was Jody Lee's number 85. Curtis Rothwell's having a good ride as well. And Paul Charman not far behind. Across the line again we go. Josh Day and Lee Williams. These guys are now both into the late 129, so they're on lap record pace again. There's Jody Lee's, Curtis Rothwell and number 44 Stuart Martin. These guys all inside the top 10. Lee Williams, Kawasaki screaming, and he goes underneath Josh Day and leads the race. Josh Day has fallen back into second place, and he won't like that much. Round Chris Curve, what has he got for him? Will we see him bouncing back? It's good to get onboard shots as they go into the gooseneck. Not often you get to see this. It is scary quick. Change of direction, downhill, slightly off camber, then into Mansfield, and Josh Day bites back immediately. Brilliantly done there from Josh, but he runs wide on the exit and allows Lee Williams back through again. Traffic is falling at the wrong time there for Lee Williams, and he almost gets punted off, and Josh Day sneaks through. Number 22 there, Terry Fuller, poor old Terry. I bet he didn't need that as they were going through. Lee Williams certainly didn't, and he has a lot of work to do now to get back on terms with Josh Day. Good racing here in this Monex Europe Thundersport GP1 race between the two championship contenders. It's always so much better when you see a battle out front and you know that there's a championship at stake as well. This is the battle for third. Jonathan Lodge is up ahead of Dave Jackson. So Lodge looks like he might get himself back on the podium here. Paul Charman at the moment, number 9, is in 11th place and leads in the Sportsman. There's Lee Williams' team just urging him on to try and close up to Josh Day again, and he won't give up on this one, not after missing out on all those points yesterday. I wonder whether getting that chain back on and taking those 4 precious points yesterday, I wonder if we'll look back on that at the end of the season and see whether that's a pivotal moment. Championships in Thundersport have been won by very fine margins in the past, especially GP1. We've seen a few going into the final race. We'll keep an eye on the points all the way through the season. From here, of course, we move over towards Lee Williams' home territory, Alton Park. The Liverpool rider will be looking forward to that. So Josh Day could do with just taking another advantage here. Further back in the pack, we just saw there number 17, Gary Woodward, who of course was the Sportsman 1000 champion last year, the pre-national 1000 champion. Woodward, oh, that was a bit close there as number 92 Mark Sykes just closes the nose off on Stuart Martin. Back to the front we go, and Lee Williams has closed the gap down again onto Josh Day. So we could have that battle all over again here. He's not giving up on this first place. There's no white flags being waved here from the Liverpool rider. He wants to do the double here at Cadwell Park on this bank holiday Monday. Wisely moving out of the way there, number 105 James Feathers, and across the line we go. Lee Williams, brilliant lap at 129.886 from him. Josh Day a lap before, 129.866. So the lap record's gone. There is nothing to split these two championship protagonists here. Defensive line from Josh Day this time into Park Corner. He does not want Lee Williams going through him again. And look what we see as they go around Chris Curve. The speed being carried around there by Lee Williams. Jonathan Lodge just about doing enough to hold on to third place for now. Into Mansfield Corner. Josh Day seems to have the advantage in terms of braking and corner speed down there. Through the new chicane. Who's got the advantage? Not a lot of difference in speed between them there. Around this section though, Lee Williams really does look quick. Around the bottom of the mountain and up over the top. They both get some air. They're on the power. Lee Williams closes up again through Hall Bends. He's not close enough to have a look into the hairpin on this occasion though. We're running out of laps. Will Lee Williams be able to have another go at Josh Day on this final lap? He won race 1. What about race 2? Here's the third place man at the moment, Jonathan Lodge, ahead of Dave Jackson. Across the line we go. Still not quite close enough to pull out a move. Lee Williams seems to have a lot of pace coming around here into Charlie's in and Charlie's out. If you carry the good momentum here, then you give yourself that chance of getting in the slipstream on the back straight. Here we are then on the Park Straight. You're looking back, there's no one close in third, but now this is the important part, and there you see around the outside, he's got the slipstream nailed, and he goes past Josh Day once more into Park Corner. Bit of a wobble on the exit there will allow Josh Day back again, and now he's got to try and defend the line going into Mansfield, and I think there's another bit of traffic coming up for these guys as well. Through the gooseneck, they flick left and then downhill, and there is a bit of traffic. Shouldn't be a problem because they'll probably get past the traffic just before the new chicane, and they do so. On board again here with Lee Williams. Oh, that's not worked out too well for Josh Day. Sonny Martin there closes the door on Josh. Josh sticks his leg out as if to say, get out of my way, I've got a race to win here. And then just like we saw earlier, now Josh Day has got to try and find the speed to catch back up with Lee Williams. This is Paul Charman. He's still inside the top 12 overall and leads the Sportsman. He's leading that championship by some margin at the moment. And now the battle for third has changed as well. Dave Jackson has got himself ahead of Jonathan Lodge. So Lodge was on for 16 points and a trophy, and it's gone away from him again. Lee Williams being urged on this last lap. I don't think he can go any quicker, boys. He's absolutely flat out down the start-finish straight, and Dave Jackson seems to have broken Jonathan Lodge in this battle for third. Has Josh Day got anything left in the tank out front to try and close up on Lee Williams? This is the part of the circuit where Williams is a lot quicker. Josh Day seems to just close up on him a bit as they get around to the gooseneck and into the Mansfield Corner, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Third and fourth there, Jackson and Lodge. Who's in fifth place? You're about to find out. It's Lee Wilson up ahead of Kingsley Ruddy on the MSG Racing Kawasaki. Oh, and it's another punch of the tank from Kingsley Ruddy. I'll tell you what, that bike has taken an absolute beating from Ruddy so far here at Cadwell Park, and it looks like he's going to have to pull out of this race. Lee Williams then on board with Josh Day, has closed up. Is there going to be any room for him to get past anywhere there? He's going to have a look up the inside into the bottom of the mountain. No, Williams closes the door. Brilliant racing here in the GP1. These two are going to fight it out for this championship. A bit of momentum lost from Day over the top of the mountain. He's running out of time now. He's got to get it done into the hairpin, and he's not close enough. So if Lee Williams doesn't put a foot wrong, it should be there for the taking. Out of barn corner, he's got to get this spot on. Day closes up and he's going to get on the power and into the slipstream. This could be close across the line. The checkered flag goes out and it will be Williams just from Josh Day. Brilliant rating here. Thundersport GB at Cadwell Park. In the Thundersport GP1 class, Williams takes the win, just over a tenth clear of Josh Day. Dave Jackson holds on to third ahead of Jonathan Lodge. Then it's Lee Wilson in fifth and Michael Neves in sixth. Top three then, round of applause for Lee Williams, Josh Day and Dave Jackson. In the Sportsman class, Paul Charman won it from Gary Woodward and Matt Stevenson. Now then, the points table going into Alton Park, it's very close indeed. Just 15 points separate Williams and Day, and they will line up against each other again in Alton Park in July, so you won't want to miss that one. Charman here, well, he's now got a 112-point advantage over Matt Stevenson in the Sportsman class overall. Tustin third, then Stone, Martin and White. We'll be back after the break for the final part, the GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite. Welcome back to Cadwell Park, the 600 Sportsman Elite, brought to you by GB Racing on the grid for race 2. Brilliant one earlier on. Joe Thompson led for so long, but then Aaron Clifford managed to get himself through. There is Joe Thompson, number 74, on the Bidvest Kawasaki. And then you see there Aaron Clifford, the Irishman, number 19, who will be looking to try and repeat what he managed earlier on. There's Jordan Rushby then. He leads the championship overall after a bad day yesterday and a big crash. They got the bike fixed and took a solid third place. Race 2 coming up here at Cadwell Park. Look out for Charlie Morris as well. 157 away from the line we go. A really solid start that from Joe Thompson, just as he did in race 1. A good start also from Charlie Norris, who seems to be going around the outside on the MSG Racing Suzuki. I think he's up into third place. How will they look going around Charlie's? Here we are with the championship leader, number 2, Jordan Rushby. Downhill and then uphill, and not really a resting point this back straight here at Cadwell Park. Slight kink left and then on the brakes into Park Corner, and he's up into second place behind Joe Thompson. Third for Charlie Morris, fourth for Clifford, fifth for Haslam, sixth for White. The screaming 600s make their way around Park Corner. There's Brian Fuge, the Luge, one of our many Royal Marine riders out on circuit, enjoying himself at Cadwell. There's Pycroft. Jack Drury's up there as well. Number 21, a former Thundersport 500 rider, Tom Leonard. He's had a good few battles here. I seem to remember a great battle between him and Carl Smalley here at Cadwell Park a few years back. Jordan Rushby now getting on terms with Joe Thompson at the front. The race 1 winner is just a bit further back. Both Joe Thompson and Jordan Rushby then just struggled a bit on landing at the mountain. That might just give Aaron Clifford a chance, who's moved up to third now ahead of Charlie Morris. There's number 71 and 62. 71 Paul Rogers, 62 Nick Edgley. Heading through Hall Bends and into the hairpin. Now then, onto the start-finish straight to tick off another lap here. Across the line for Thompson, he leads from Rushby. Bit of a gap back to Clifford, Morris, Haslam, William White, Pycroft, Drury, 171. Further back is Ryan Varley, and then it's Paul Rogers. A lot of riders coming through the pre-national 600 championship to make it into this Sportsman Elite 600 class for 2016. Of course, you'll be able to catch those shows for pre-national 600s at Thundersport Plus for 2016. And of course, lots of other action going on in the Aprilia Challenge as well, GP Racing Dream. Number 2, Jordan Rushby, championship leader still at the moment. Important to remember that those directly around him, number 74, Joe Thompson, and number 19, Aaron Clifford, at the moment do not feature in terms of the top 10 of the championship, and Rushby is not that far ahead of Charlie Morris. So finishing this race, absolutely crucial for Jordan Rushby. So it will be interesting to see how much effort he puts into trying to fight for this win, or whether he'll allow Aaron Clifford through and just let those two fight it out. At the moment, Joe Thompson in control, doing well. Is that someone going straight on? It is, and that's a big place there it sounded like he hit neutral as he was coming into the final corner, and Aaron Clifford goes down, and rightly so. That's a big place to be coming off at Barn Corner. Aaron Clifford is out of this race, and he won't be winning another one. Joe Thompson and Jordan Rushby there, completely unaware of what was going on, because he just went straight through and into the barriers there. So Aaron Clifford down and out. We send our best regards to him. I hope he's up and okay. Marshals will attend to him pretty quickly. So Joe Thompson, and that last lap of 32.398. It's a lot quicker than they were going this morning. They're still a little way off that Dean Hipwell lap record. There is the rest of the crew then. Jack Drury, got Haslam there, William White. At the moment, there is of course now a spare space left on the podium with Aaron Clifford going down. Charlie Morris looks set to take that on the MSG Racing Suzuki. Charlie Morris, of course, spoke to Sid earlier as the 600 Sportsman Championship leader at the moment. There is Jordan Rushby. He's not quite given up, has he, on this first place yet? Through the bottom of the mountain. The bike will go light here. Whoa, big wobble on the front end there from Jordan Rushby now through Hall Bends. A lot of work to do on the bike there. You can see him just shifting his backside from left to right, and then brake hard down into the hairpin, downhill off camber. Some really nasty corners around this Cadwell Park circuit, but some brilliant ones at the same time. There is Charlie Morris, he's in third place. Then a big battle for fourth. See there, George Pycroft, Nick Edgley. We've also got Ryan Varley in there as well. Across the line out front, Joe Thompson. Has he done enough on that last lap just to get away and win this race? It looks like he might have done. He was 0.3 quicker than Jordan Rushby that time around. There goes Nick Edgley on his triumph into turn one. Edgley just inside the top 10 at the moment. Joe Thompson then just missed out on the win earlier on, looking for revenge here, although he will be probably completely unaware that Aaron Clifford is now out of this race. Further back is number 41, Alan Naylor. Number 5, Jack Thompson. 34 is Aaron Sylvester, but still Joe Thompson that leads this race and is in control of it. Jordan Rushby in second place, I think, has now finally waved that white flag and has decided that 20 points will do very nicely when it comes to his championship. Now this is an intriguing battle, 77 and 83. Stuart Haslam and Jack Drury currently fighting it out for fourth, because up ahead of these guys is Charlie Morris. Good move that. Up the inside of Haslam goes Jack Drury. Joe Thompson, well, if he's got a pit board, he'll be told in a moment that he has a decent advantage over the championship leader Jordan Rushby. But like we just mentioned, Rushby here won't be in a hurry to close that gap down with Joe Thompson. He had a good go at staying with him, but in the end has decided that, you know what, I need to finish this race. There's 171, Ryan Varley of Leeds. Just going through Hall Bends across the line, another lap gone. Jordan Rushby there, you can just see from the body language, absolutely no interest now in the closing stages of this race at getting himself down the road. And of course, after the family worked so hard to get the bike back out on circuit, I expect that it is now going to be his job to get that bike parked up back in the van as quickly as possible, and then they'll probably spruce it up again, ready for Alton Park the next round. By the way, those of you that are interested in actually attending these rounds and watching this great racing, it's a one-day event. Qualifying and practice takes place on the Friday the 1st of July, and then the racing is on Saturday the 2nd of July at Alton Park. So you can get yourself tickets to that. Alternatively, you can always watch it on here a couple of weeks later, or even on the website, thundersportgb.com. That's the next round for Thundersport GB. Not quite the race we had earlier on then in the GB Racing 600 Sportsman Elite, in large part due to the fact that we've lost Aaron Clifford, who would have probably fancied his chances at contending for this. But it's been a very good ride from Joe Thompson. He's not put a foot wrong in this race so far, and he will now make his way onto the start-finish straight and will be greeted with the last lap flag. Across the line he goes then. One more lap of this Cadwell Park circuit for Thompson, uphill into Coppice Corner. He's got, wow, probably almost 8-9 seconds now, and Rushby in second in turn has got a good 10 seconds over his championship rival there, Charlie Morris, who said to Sid earlier he wanted to get himself on the podium, and he's done exactly that. There's Jack Drury and Stuart Haslam. That battle will continue until the last few corners. Half a lap to go for Joe Thompson now. Brilliant performance this, consistently in the 132s, and as I said, no mistakes so far. Jack Drury at the moment, 83 here, just holding on to that 4th place ahead of Stuart Haslam. Down into Mansfield corner. Not everyone's favourite corner, unless you're quick through there, of course. It's downhill, really tricky to navigate. Haslam, number 77 there, just running out of time now, with a quarter of a lap left here at Cadwell Park. It's going to be a win for Joe Thompson, by the looks of things, as he'll make his way through Hall Bend now. Jordan Rushby is going to nurse his machine home to 20 points and will extend his championship lead, although he of course lost points yesterday with that crash, but he will not mind one little bit getting a 3rd and a 2nd place on this Bank Holiday Monday after what happened here yesterday. Charlie Morris, 3rd place for him. He's still going to be in it, but the checker flag goes out and it is the race win for Joe Thompson here at Cadwell Park. 2nd place for Jordan Rushby, job done for the championship there for Jordan, and it will be 3rd place and a wheelie over the line for Charlie Morris. Thompson wins it then, 12 seconds ahead of Jordan Rushby. Charlie Morris, the Sportsman winner, finishes in 3rd. Jack Drury in 4th. Stuart Haslam 5th and William White in 6th. On the podium there you see Joe, centre of your picture, championship leader Jordan Rushby on the left and Morris on the right. And in the Sportsman class, Morris the winner, ahead of George Pycroft and Nick Edgley. Let's look at the 2 championships then. Jordan Rushby still leading, but there's not a lot in it. There will be 7 points splitting Rushby and Morris when we line up at Alton Park next month. William White currently in 3rd overall. And in the Sportsman class, well, Morris a bit more comfortable this one. He's there ahead of Nick Edgley, Brendan Mallender, Aaron Sylvester, McFarlane and Johnny Towers. That's it from us here at Cadwell Park for round 4. Proper burnouts here and a good send-off. We will see you for round 5 next time at Alton Park.